So comedy is what Eryca Nolan does. And I can't think of anything more difficult than being a comedian, a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, yeah.
How in the world did that happen?
I don't know. I don't know. I was dating a comedian. I always tell this story. I was dating a comedian around 2013, towards the end of 2013. His birthday was coming up the beginning of 2014. So I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to do a surprise. I'm going to give him a roast for his birthday. I'm going to create some jokes of my own, maybe reverse engineer some of his. And at the time, I didn't know that, first of all, you're not supposed to reverse engineer or touch anybody else's jokes. I know that now, but so I was gonna plan his party and do a roast. And about a month before his birthday, he broke up with me. So here I am with material and ready to go, all excited. And so I just took my material down to the DC Improv in DC at the time. They have a class called, I think, 5 Minutes to Funny. And what you do is you sit there with other people that want to try comedy. So I sat there for 6 weeks with my notes, and they bring you up on stage. You learn how to move the microphone away and how to stand. And other than that, it's still your jokes. So at the end of the 6 weeks, you have a graduation. So I invited all my friends to the graduation. A lot of them were jokes about him at the time. So I had a graduation. Once you hear that laughter, that's it. That is it.
Oh, that's the thing.
Yeah, once you start out and you're nervous, and I'm nervous still when I go on stage, but once you hear that first round of laughs, that's it.
Oh,
it's
man.
addicting. Yeah.
So
here I am.
every laugh after that. Because I mean, man, and you can probably perform the same and kind of roll it out the same from one venue to another, and the reaction, I assume, can be very, very
it can be
different.
very different. It can be very different. Like I said, I'm spoiled, so I go to most of my shows and I kind of know what the audience is, and you can pick out, you see where the moms are, or the grown women, or the people going through what you're going through. But every once in a while, you get there, and those are the same people. Like, these are my people, and then all of a sudden, you don't get a laugh.
It's a dud.
Yeah. Well, what's wrong with these people? You can't blame the people. You have to now think on your feet. Like, okay, what else? How can I get them to see my side? How can I get them in? And sometimes I haven't always. Sometimes early on, people have patted me when they've left the show, like, we're sorry to hear that. I was like, well, I think they're supposed to be laughing with me. Instead, they were like feeling bad, like it was an AA meeting or something. I don't know. It was
Like,
really strange.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I'm so sorry.
Right.
No, wait a minute. This is a comedy show.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel bad. Like I feel bad for making you sad today.
Man.
Yeah. So I don't get a lot of those shows, but I get enough.
Tough crowd. But yes. I mean, but I can't imagine being in there. And if you have the tough crowd, and the laughs aren't coming, is there like a escape valve, or is there some sort of like, or do you just roll with it, kind of like,
right.
Like, hey guys, hey, I'm here.
Here, right. We do this easy, or we can do this the hard way. But we're getting to the end of these jokes. And it depends, because early on you do only like 5 minutes here or 3 minutes, and as you grow, then you start, like, initially you don't get paid. So I don't mind if you're not laughing. Like, I can walk away too. I'm not getting paid, but now that I get paid, I'm committed to it. So if you're up there for 20 minutes, you have to go through your 20 minutes. And it's like you said, we're either going to do this the easy way or the hard way. But
oh man,
yeah.
God bless. I'm telling you, it's quite the endeavor. It's quite the endeavor. So, where do you get your inspiration for your jokes? I know you're a mom. How many kids do you have?
I have four.
Four
right. Kids. Yes. So that's enough
4
material
blessings.
There. Yeah. I guess that's what they call them these days. Right. They are. 3 of them are grown though. I have 3 grown kids, and 2 are working and living with me, because I just relocated back to the Berkshires. So they were in Virginia and relocated with me here. And then I have the younger girls.
So you grew up in Pittsfield, Massachusetts.
I grew up in Pittsfield, Robbins Ave, Pittsfield. Yeah, I remember. I'm old. I remember when it was up street. You remember when it was called up street?
You know what?
North
Honestly, no.
See, wow, yeah.
When they sort of brought that back and they had the Up Street Festival, then some people were, but I was not of the era when
when we actually called North Street up street. Yeah, like where you going up street?
Yeah.
No, and I was like, that sounds country, really, or small town, not up the street. We're going up street.
Yeah.
Thursday nights. That was my era.
They use that same terminology in North Adams because there's a big chunk of people who live on the side of basically a mountain. Well, it's very steep over there. They call it the same thing, up street.
Oh, do they?
So, yeah. So there it is. But Robbins Ave was.
That's where I grew up, Robbins Ave.
Yeah, in the West Side.
In the West Side.
So tell me about your childhood growing up in the West Side, and then eventually you spent many, many years in DC.
In DC, yeah, I grew up on the West Side. I have an older sister. Of course, I don't want to just say being black, but being black in Pittsfield, there's probably 3 major black families, maybe 4 at the most, and I'm related to 3. So if that explains anything, everybody is a cousin to me. So I always tell people the reason I left was just to find someone to marry that wasn't related to me. So I knew I had to go at some point. So 18, I went up to Framingham State for a couple years, and then I moved to DC and was there, 35 years. I lived there. Okay. Got married, had these kids.
Yeah.
Now I'm back.
And what were you doing, before you started the comedy?
I worked at a law firm. I worked at several law firms, actually, in their IT department.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my background in IT. I do that during the day. I still have to pay feed these kids, pay these bills. So I still work in IT.
Yeah. Get any material from that?
I have not touched upon it yet. Everybody panics. Like people at work, don't use this. Don't use it. I have enough of my own life. I can't even introduce my job yet. I can't even get out of my house with enough material. So I'm stuck there on those kids. And wine. I talk about wine a lot.
Yeah.
Because I drink a lot of wine.
What is your favorite kind of wine?
I like
Pinot. Actually, we probably should have done the Kathy Lee and Hoda thing today. Been with the wine instead of the tea.
Oh, I would not have minded.
So I can't believe this. I have Eryca in my kitchen, and I'm like, oh, do you want some coffee? Would you like some tea? And we find some tea that Eryca would like. And normally I drink cream. I'm like, oh, I have whole milk. Okay, all right. Already strike one. Okay, and I don't have the cream. And then all of a sudden, she wants some sugar, and I can't find any damn sugar anywhere in my house. I can find powdered sugar or some brown sugar. But I couldn't. Oh my God!
I was like, "Do you live here for real? You in somebody else's house? Where's the sugar?"
I ran up to ask Cara, "Do you know where the sugar is?" She's like, "It's in there somewhere." Oh my God. So I'm a terrible host.
No, that was a sign. I need to be cutting back on it anyway. So this is fine. This is good.
So you're performing around here. I know there's this organization. Well, I don't want to say organization. It's called The Foundry. And I saw a video interview with you from The Foundry. So what is that all about?
The Foundry in West Stockbridge is a small, really nice theater down in West Stockbridge. And not every year, I'll say every season, I do a mass blast because I need to book my gigs. So I was like, I want to be home because I usually go either Connecticut, New York, sometimes up to Boston. I was like, let me see if I can get something close to home. So I just sent her an email saying who I was, where I perform at. And she said she wanted to meet me. So I went down, I don't know, January, I think. Went down and met Amy, wonderful person, and she agreed she wanted to start some comedy there anyway. So she wanted to bring my show down. My show is called Project Hilarious. So we're debuting our first time this Friday down at the Foundry.
Nice. All right. So
I'm excited.
We better get this podcast.
Oh, I know. Now that I've said
there.
The pressure. Now I've said this Friday. I'm sorry. So thanks, Eryca. I wasn't going to edit this till,
no.
Right? The cardinal
the rule of timeless podcasting. Evergreen podcasting.
Right.
But so going to West Stockbridge, that's amazing to be able to kind of be close to home. But normally you are going to Boston and Albany and New York City.
Yeah. This summer, last summer I was in New York City for the Black Women in Comedy Festival, and this year they've asked again my show to return. So my show was going to be a part of the festival this year in New York City.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, New York Comedy Club, I want to say.
There's a
It's
whole
gonna
bunch.
kill me.
You know,
There's so many, right?
when there's so many things to do in New York City.
Yeah.
So when you go there, I mean, you can go see Broadway shows, whatever. But I can tell you that that was the thing that, and I don't go to New York a lot, but when I go there, I go to the comedy shows,
Right.
and that is honestly, that's the most fun thing you can do. And if you can get in the front row,
Ooh, if you're brave enough, right?
if you're brave enough. I remember I did have a friend one time, and he was roasted the entire time, and it was so funny because we were laughing hysterically, and he was turning 17. He was so angry.
I didn't pay for this.
So what did you roast people?
I mean, I don't much. If you hear some noise, then I address that, and I'll either jokey or say something, but I go right back into whatever I'm doing.
Because there's got to be some comedians that are just scanning. They're just scanning. They're looking for that person who they're just going to just oh man,
You'd be surprised,
I can type this one. I see come on, that girlfriend is way too good looking for this guy,
right?
Or this
and sometimes,
thing or that thing.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And I've seen sometimes it just falls in their lap. Somebody says something, somebody moves, anything, and there you go, like 10 minutes more of material just on that person and what they might have said. It's amazing. I've seen some comedians just, like you said, create a whole set just on one person.
I just the riff. But that's kind of like the price of admission. I mean, that's your contract. You're walking in. You're going to be in the front row. There is a possibility that it's going to be you. Yeah. you better have a sense of humor about it because they can be relentless.
Right. No, I always get people, I'm not going to sit up front, or they say the opposite. I want you to say something to me. I'm like, this is not about you. Say something to me.
You do get people like that.
You do that really are looking forward to it.
You're not going to make fun of me,
right?
Come on,
yeah. I got some jokes too.
Like this, the show is not about you. I love it. Yeah. Oh man, it is fun. It is fun.
It's fun.
That I mean, because those jokes may be funny, but sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't. And I'm sure during the pandemic, it must have been very difficult. I know basically you took time off essentially,
yes.
But then there had to be a time period where maybe there were things that you're doing by Zoom or what have you. I don't know if that even is right. Applicable. I did see some folks out there, some comedians doing these sort of live TikTok, Zoom type things and that right. sort of thing. But there's nothing like the in-person.
I love live. I did one Zoom and it crushed my heart. I was like, I'm never, ever doing it. Like, you're looking at them, they're looking at you, they're muted because you're not supposed to hear them. So even if they're laughing, it's just not the same thing. Yeah. You really have to carry the whole thing yourself. And I didn't like it. I did one, and that was it for me.
Yeah, you got to read. Yeah. How can you read the room if you can't hear it?
Right. Exactly. And I don't want to say fortunately, but I was sick through the pandemic. So fortunately, I was taking care of myself instead. So I couldn't even focus on missing the comedy as much as just trying to get back on track when the world was ready to open again.
Yeah. What was it, with COVID or?
No, I caught COVID in July, but no, I went in, easy procedure, kidney stones. They're sending me to Boston. We're just going to remove some kidney stones. Had a cardiac arrest 10 minutes into the procedure.
Oh God.
Ended up in the hospital for 2 weeks.
Yeah. And you're better now.
Yeah, I was on meds. Then I still didn't get the kidney stones on, so I had to go back and do that. And then they had to find it just kept it was I don't want to say horrible because I'm here, but it was interesting. Wow. But luckily it happened during COVID. So when everybody else was sitting down, I was sitting down too. So a lot of people don't know, but
oh gosh. Well, maybe one day you can use some of that for your material. But
I know. Right now, it's not too funny with me. Yeah, right now, because I thought about it. I did write notes.
You're not laughing about this shit right now.
Right. I was not. I was trying to get out of there. I woke up with monitors all on my head. That was the only thing I was thinking. Was like, if they took my hair out, somebody's getting sued. Forget the seizure.
Do what you need to do.
Arrest.
You touch the hair.
Yes, I need to speak to someone.
I'm seeking legal action.
I was mortified about to feel it. I was like, they sewed stuff down my scalp.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was looking pretty bad, but.
Oh well, you look great now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now. So yeah, getting through that. Okay, so you have your project, and your project is called again
Project Hilarious.
Hilarious. Okay, so that's HER.
Yes.
Tell me the theme behind that. Obviously, it's a woman.
Just woman focused comedy. Mm-hmm. Sometimes every once in a while I have an all male show, and that's usually because I'm getting threatened in my DMs from male comedians, like, when are you going to do a show for us? I'm like, well, the reason I'm doing a show for us is because we can't seem to always get on male dominated shows. So it's funny that then they turn around and ask me, when are you going to do a show for us? So once a year I do a hilarious show, but it's woman focused. And I was discussing it with Amy from the Foundry, is that because I'm a mom and because I'm not near any large cities, I can't get out and be on the mic and practicing all the time. So I have to hone mine in and schedule. And I started doing shows for myself. And then I was like, well, there's other women in my predicament. So I'm going to have all women show. And that way I can bring the comedians to my show instead of going out and meeting them and, perform, network, all in one shebang.
So
I said shebang. Oh my gosh. You have to edit that out.
No.
You're going to say shebang. Oh my gosh.
We say all kinds of things like that.
Oh, okay.
Shebang, skedaddle.
My kids are going to be like, you've embarrassed us.
So that's actually you're a producer now.
Yes.
Of shows.
So I produced, Project Hilarious. I actually did it in 2016. I called it the Funny Girl Takeover when I lived in DC. Same reason, I couldn't get out all the time. So I thought, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a summer tour. Who does a tour 2 years in, right? You barely have 10 minutes of time, but it was 5 women, 5 shows, 5 cities, 5 weeks over 2016 summer. And I called it the Funny Girl Takeover. But then once I moved up here, I had to kind of start from scratch, getting my contacts and things. So I started pitching the show to the Hartford Funny Bone. And it took almost 1.5 years. And then he's like, yeah, let's try it. So at that point I wouldn't call it a residency. You always have to make it seem big, like you're Vegas, but I have a residency at the Hartford Funny Bone.
I love that.
Yeah. So about every other month my show is there, and I bring new comedians, Boston, New York. I'd like to go farther, but as far as my budget can handle, I bring women in from all over, headliners that can do 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Even I do a little spotlight on new people now too. Yeah. Someone that just started.
And for new comedians who are just starting, of course, there's a lot of ways to get exposure nowadays. We were just talking about TikTok, and actually another green room kitchen conversation was about the organic nature of some platforms that enable you to reach more people. TikTok is one of those. Instagram and their reels is more effective. So there are ways to get in front of people and sort of get a following, but then there is the actual process of getting in front of people on a show that's produced. So you have a platform in a way, which is helpful, because I think you can go open mic or whatever, and do those things, but then ultimately you got to get paid to do what you got to do.
The natural transition.
So what is it like for comedians today, especially just about post-pandemic, we're hoping anyway, at this point, to break in and actually make somewhat of a living doing this?
I can't even say I know, because I don't make as much as some. I'm trying to, but I want to say, and of course you say with anything, I do it for the laughs, I do it for the enjoyment, but it's just a process. As you get in the first few years, you're not going to make money, say the first few years. You are going to be going to those mics, and they say finding your voice, because although you have the jokes, you're still not comfortable maybe on stage, or relaying it the way you relay it, the way I'm talking now. And that's taken me years. Otherwise, I was a robot when I first got up there the first couple of years.
And I mean, and for every, I don't know what, Kevin Hart, there's a
million other underrated or underground Kevin Harts.
Yeah, who may be just as talented or otherwise, but when it comes down to it, there's also only a certain number of Eryca Nolans. You know what I'm saying? Because then there's a whole host of other people who haven't gotten to the level where you are,
Exactly.
in this sort of in this show business, in
Right.
this
And they're
in
out
this
there
industry.
just what to say, chasing mics. And that's what you're doing. You're getting your car, you're going to mics, like I said, for free, $25, $50, whatever people pay. I did guest spots.
and nowadays, especially, does that even cover the gas?
Nowadays, no. And another reason I stay local. That's what I'm like, I think I'm going to spend my summer in the Berkshires. I can't even afford, to go to the shows. Although I have grown. I get paid. I'm not rich, but I get paid.
That's right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
If my kids would leave, if I didn't have to feed them, I could actually be out here on the road.
I think that goes for a lot of us. I'm
Oh,
sure.
true. Yeah.
Man,
that's a great
look
idea.
how rich we would be if we didn't have all these kids. We love them.
Most days, I always tell them. I love them most days.
That's the important thing.
Yes.
They're great. Over 50% at least.
Right.
Oh man, gas prices. Yeah, I mean, my God. I filled up my tank the other day, and it was $65. I just, can't do this anymore, man.
$80 because I went over to Albany. I accidentally filled it up because I went in. I guess I shouldn't have left. I was like, it's gonna hit about 60. I went in and picked up a sandwich. Came out $81. I wanted to cry. How do I get that back?
Can I bring that sandwich back? I need a refund.
Exactly. I live here now. I can't even afford. It's crazy. $81. I haven't seen that since I think it was 2008 in DC. I think it was around $4 then. And I used to cry every day because I lived in Virginia, had to get into DC, pay for parking, and then it was like $20 a day of gas.
But they always talked about what a great metro system there is there. No, I mean,
there's a good metro system, and it probably could have brought me, but I was in suburbs of Virginia, so it brought me close enough. But with 4 kids, something's always going to go wrong. I needed to be able to get in a car and ride because someone was pretending to have a whatever. Sniffling tough. Or the nurse. The nurse was calling my phone a couple times a week. So
it's one thing if you're the single millennial. Millennials are old now, by the way. I can't.
Right.
Millennials are like balding now.
Right.
But anyway, but we say that. So it's one thing to be the single millennial hopping on the metro every day because your schedule is pretty pretty consistent. But once you have kids, a little tougher.
And expect the unexpected between our whatever dentist appointment during the day or having to go to grocery store or anything. So I was like, no, I need my car.
So you're back here. I mean, hopefully you've got a dentist here locally, and you got all your. It's been 3 years, right? So you're kind of feeling.
I'm good now. I cried the first winter. I think the first couple of winters I wanted to cry. It was freezing compared to DC. DC, when it's cold, they shut the town down. Nobody goes out. Here, I'm like, it's cold. My job's not opening. They're like, Eryca, you coming to work? I'm like, why are we out in the cold? What are we doing here?
They really did, huh? Shut it. Like, I mean, how cold did it have to be to shut everything down?
If it snowed. If it snowed, we weren't ready for snow. If it snowed during the day and you got caught at work, it was a 3-hour ride home, and people would abandon their cars. They abandoned their cars on the highway down there. So you can get up at 5. You're not hitting your house till 8 o'clock.
What's this white stuff? It's the apocalypse.
Right.
Leave the car on the side of the road.
Right. Every year, it's like you guys
bugging out.
They still do. I think they did it this year down there. Everybody got jammed up. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm used to it.
So
now.
what do they say? New England, we are hearty here.
Yes.
Or hardy. Is it hardy or hardy? But I guess that's just the way we are. So you were born and raised here, so I'm sure you were able to.
I've adjusted. I go outside now. Not a lot, but I go out.
You didn't go skiing this year?
No, I'm not. I've never done that. Oh, actually, I did do it once, but it's funny. I did it once I moved to DC. Once I moved to DC, then I went to Pennsylvania to ski. The whole time I lived here, never skied.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That actually sounds a lot like me. I didn't ski much. I've been skiing a little bit more the last couple of years. But Bosque, you should do a comedy show there. They used to do some shows over there.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, you gotta talk to
I'll have to talk to them.
To them. And then the other thing is I keep hearing Rick Storr putting it out there saying, hey, you know, people, what do you think about doing comedy? Because everybody's so antsy about, oh, can we get back together with
Right.
COVID, blah, blah, blah. Well, and so he put it out there, and I'm sure he got plenty of positive feedback saying, yeah,
people are ready. People are
we
definitely
got to
ready.
do a comedy show. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, so talk to Rick Storr. Get, you know, you got to get,
I'll have to talk to him. Hopefully he can put me on. It's
it.
hard with local because they always bring people from outside.
Yeah.
You know, and they're hilarious people. I've seen who they've brought.
Sure.
Who they've booked. But no, I am trying to get on locally more so.
Go him,
Flatburger Society. I'd like to perform there this summer.
Yeah. I got it. Have you had a burger there yet?
I haven't had a burger. What did I have there? I had, oh my gosh. It was delicious though. Some type of French fries with maybe a gravy or something like that. I was there to see, because they have live music as well. So I was there a couple weeks ago to see Chantel, Cashmere Souls.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very nice set.
You got to get Chantel.
You'll have to get, yes, please get her. I love her.
Come in here. And so is she the singer?
She's a singer, and she plays on the keyboard. She's part of Cashmere Souls, I believe. It's her and her sister. But I haven't seen her sister yet. But I went to Lenox to see her last month, and then she was at Flatburger a couple weeks ago as well.
Oh my God! All right,
really, it's so chill.
I have to say, I am remiss for not having made it yet to the Flatburger Society. For the name alone is beautiful,
isn't it?
I mean, come on, whoever, I don't even know the owner, but whoever the owner is, that's awesome.
It's a cool name. It is.
I love that. So,
nice spot though.
It is a great spot, and it was Flavors for many years, and they did a lot of music there, and that was a nice spot. So I'm glad to hear that they're doing the live stuff. There
makes you think that you're actually not in Pittsfield, you know. Because Pittsfield's just Pittsfield, you know. We're kind of, you know, I don't know.
But that's why.
But I love it. I love
why we have people like Eryca coming back, and making Pittsfield something that we, in our mind, you know, we're shifting, and
we definitely are.
So I mean, you know, you got a place like Methuselah's downtown, which is more cosmopolitan.
Yes,
you know, you go there, and I don't know if Yuki does any comedy. I know she does music.
I did a show there.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Somebody, Renee Santos, another comedian. Anytime I see a show, I'm like, hey, I'm a local comedian. Can I get on for just about 5 minutes? That gives them time and the owner time to listen. And if, you know, 5 minutes isn't going to kill a show. So I've jumped on, I jumped on that show. It was a couple of years ago though. But
you can't kill a night at the bar with just 5 minutes.
Right. Once
you get to 6 minutes.
Then
maybe people are starting to walk out the door.
Yeah. But no, she was gracious. I contacted her. I was like, hey, I'm from the area. She goes, come on by. So I went up.
And Mission too, you know, has music there, but I think they did maybe a little comedy here and there back in the day. And probably someone is going to call me up and say, no, they do comedy every.
Right, I know. That's why.
Sorry, guys, I don't get out as much as I used to. So hey, there's tons of potential. So
there is.
Yeah,
I can speak, you know, coming from DC. I was like, there's nothing to do, but I stay busy here. I stay more busy here now recently than in DC. Like DC, once you get home, you live in the suburbs, you might not want to drive all the way back into town. But here, everything's 5 minutes away. So you want to grab a drink, you want to go listen to, you know, Cashmere Soul, you want to, you know, jazz, anything, karaoke. Everything's a couple of minutes away. So
yeah, there it is. So you have Eryca, who grew up in Pittsfield, and now you have Eryca, who's come back to Pittsfield.
Tourist Eryca. What? I do. I act like I'm a tourist now.
But you do have family and friends who remember you when you were a kid, growing up. So how have they been? How have they responded to tourist Eryca?
I know they've been very supportive. They come and with comedy, if you have 15 minutes, 20 minutes, if you're not, say, a Kevin Hart or a Dave Chappelle, then you're not rewriting all the time, because you're also probably have a daytime job and other things. So I have a 20 minutes. It's always not I always add new material, but it's always not new. Sometimes I'm rehearsing, I'm just practicing. But they'll come to my shows if I'm local, whether I'm at like Autos has a monthly show. So if I'm there, they come support me. The Shire House in Dalton has a show.
Yeah.
If I go out there, same faces. So I have
there's so many more shows that I know about.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah.
I didn't know Autos did.
Yeah. Autos is a monthly
okay.
show. It's packed. It's a really good show. Who does it? Jason runs that room.
Okay.
He's a comedian as well. So yeah, we find each other. Comedians, we find out where everything's at.
Yeah.
We're getting to those mics. It's an addiction. It's not optional.
Okay. That is amazing. Is it like so there's no formal group or anything like that. You just kind of naturally and
find each other. Yeah. But actually we do have a Facebook group. Does Pittsfield have one? I don't know if Pittsfield has one. Maybe we need one. I know Albany has a comedy group, Northampton area, Hartford area. So you go in those groups and talk with other comedians. Pittsfield doesn't. We kind of just find each other. Yeah. I don't know how, but
yeah. I love it. I've learned so much.
Right. There is
going to a comedy show this week.
We do have comedy culture here. We're working on it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to have a sense of humor about.
Right. Exactly. Definitely. I start my first set out with how I grew up, the differences with Pittsfield, and just joking on my experiences with Pittsfield. So
yeah.
I do, and I do that wherever I'm at. I that's why I know it's a solid bit, because even though people aren't from the Berkshires, they understand when I tell them like I'm small town, You know,
it's true. I mean, I would say that especially if you're in a city, people are living there. Not everyone grew up in that city. A lot of people, a lot of people go to the city. So I mean, there is that dynamic. I think it is a universal aspect.
It is. It really
going
is.
From the Berkshires, it could be going from rural Pennsylvania
exactly
to DC.
It's relatable,
or what have you. I mean, I went to school in Philadelphia, and yeah, I mean, half my friends were from small
towns around, right?
So tiny town Pennsylvania, or New York, or what have you,
right?
So I mean, that's
very
where a
relatable.
lot of people in the United States of America grow up, in places like Pittsfield.
Yes
Maybe not exactly like Pittsfield.
Pittsfield. Yeah, we're pretty unique.
Yes, we definitely have our own little niche, but it is small town America, small city America anyway. So what's next for you? As you continue to evolve, what's on tap?
Well, I'm gonna be not only at the Foundry, but we're bringing our show to the Albany Funny Bone. So that's exciting for me to open up. Anytime I can get another funny bone under my belt, then that's rewarding to me. So I'm going to be pitching the show there. I wanted to reach out. I don't know. I'm not going to say podcast, but I have to do something interactive. I know I do. I'm just kidding. I have not been a TikTok person. Like I'll throw my dog's picture up there or something, but I do have to add an interactive element to Project Hilarious and to my brand. So I'll be doing that or figuring out what it is, but it will come this year.
Yeah.
I have to do something.
The great thing about TikTok is it's so you have the ability to be very, very creative. I mean, you can just do anything from a short bit, basically doing one of your jokes, to things that are far more elaborate, and they all have the potential to reach a lot of people. Right now it is sort of the creators sort of place to be. So I'll be following you. So listen,
thank you.
So you better,
put some content up there, huh?
I mean,
get to work.
The dogs are okay. I would appreciate the dogs. I'll like the dogs.
Yeah, I get the sympathy with the dogs. Oh, nobody's gonna not like a dog, right? I get the little hearts. They like it, but they're like, really, Eryca, you're a comedian and you're feeding us dogs. I'm gonna do something though.
I love it. So yeah, podcasting or something along those lines.
Yes. No, I see your digs though. Now I'm like, I can't even touch this. You know what? You have to see the digs here.
But yeah, I mean, but that doesn't. You don't need all this crap. I mean, like,
this is the Mercedes of podcasts in here.
This is just stuff I had sitting in my basement for a long time, just because but I mean, like, really, you just need a couple good mics.
I love it. No, I'm intimidated now. Here I was with just my
phone. That's the last thing I want to do. Oh God, no. You'd be amazing. Yeah, and I think having all your friends coming on, as comedians and everything. God, that's the place to be.
See, he's convincing me. I'm like, no, I don't want to go. Yeah, I'm gonna get there. And you're right. We're already doing it. We're already having the conversations. We're just not recording anything, but we're already,
just stick a mic in front of people.
Exactly.
And, the concept and my friends and I have talked about this in the past. I always love the concept of let's just go to a coffee shop somewhere and just stick mics in front of it, and whatever comes out comes out, because you'll have these conversations and you'll be like, man, this would be a great podcast, or this would be great. This is a great conversation. So I've done my best to try to sort of emulate that, but you can't emulate the coffee house atmosphere. You actually kind of have to be there.
Yes.
But all that stuff, and there it is, because that's life.
Right.
We have these conversations, we have these real experiences, and that's what we're all about.
You're right. Just replace the coffee with a glass of wine, and that's me. And all of a sudden,
Next
I know
time,
all. Yes.
Our interview would have been 100 times better if it was just a little red wine.
Or if you would have put me up, like, okay, Eryca, wrap it up. Take the bottle with you.
Yeah. Well, I do like. Do you like red wine? I assume red wine.
I do like red wine. I prefer the white. I prefer Pinot Grigio. That's my go-to. Pinot
really?
Grigio. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because there are some the connoisseurs who say, well, white wine isn't even really wine, and blah blah blah. Well, you know what? You drink what you like.
Yes.
Yeah.
My daughter. Well, I can't even say that. Never mind. I was going to say she drinks wine, but she's not supposed to. So forget
your 22-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. There we go. She's 22. Mom.
I mean, and that goes for everything too. I mean, because people, they get all high and mighty about, oh, there's this brew of beer, or this is, made this way, or so forth.
Right.
Like, you know what? If you like Natty Light and that's your thing and you like it, then drink Natural Light. I don't even know how to make that anymore. Genesee or something. Like if that's what you like, or if you like the bottle of wine with the kangaroo on it,
That's me. That's funny.
Yeah.
I Instacart because I was sick during the pandemic and couldn't get out. And somebody came to my house last week, so I still Instacart about 3 times a week. I don't know why. We just need 10 things. We just Instacart. I order wine through Market 32. So we came to deliver, and I think I picked a different wine. He goes, you usually do the kangaroo wine. And I was like, you stalking me? And he's like, and I realized, like, this dude has been shopping for you for the past year, Eryca. He was breaking it down to, that's not the right yogurt. And I was like, and then I realized, I was like, yeah, I guess he does get to know me, but he's down to the wine. Like, that's not the wine you usually drink.
There it is.
Like, listen, stranger.
I don't drink the kangaroo wine because it gives me a headache. I don't know what it is.
Really?
It's just me. I just can't do the kangaroo wine. I don't know.
The kangaroo wine.
What was the name of that wine? I don't know. But
I love it. That's my mommy juice.
All right. Well, now I know.
Yes,
so
next time wine is me.
I'm gonna get some kangaroo wine. Maybe the Pinot. I don't know if they have Pinot Grigio kind. I think they do. Yes, they do. Okay, so maybe the white wine. It's the red wine that gives me the headache, but maybe the white wine.
Yes, red wine does give me a headache.
Okay.
I have tried. I've tried some Chiantis. Because my dad is the one who got me into wine. That Cabernet, and I do get a headache.
Yeah,
it's heavier, and
it's the sulfides. They say.
Yes.
They say so, and then they have these little sticks that you can put in, and allegedly it takes the sulfides out.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you want to try that. I don't know.
I'll have to try that then.
Just
and up my game.
You can order Instacart. These little sticks.
I'm like, I don't want to upset my Instacarter by switching up. He got quite upset when I changed wines last time.
Oh my gosh. You don't want to upset your Instacart.
My Instacarter. I need him.
So wait, does he actually, what does the Instacart guy do?
He just shops for me. It's an app, and I put in everything I need. I put in everything I need onto my list. And then he'll check in and it says he's checked in. Do you need anything else? And if something is out, then he'll take a picture. Oh, well, we're out of this water. Do you want this water? They're out of this steak or whatever. And he basically just shops for me, drops it off on my porch. With the wine, you have
so
to sign off on it.
He's in
In
the
there
store.
shopping.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you don't like shopping.
No, no. Well, it started with it, everybody with the mask, and everybody was on top of each other. So like I was sick. I had to get home.
Yeah,
that's how it started.
Okay.
But now, no.
Well, okay.
We're deep into a relationship now.
The shopping, the grocery store is such a place right now. It's just kind of like, and then people are they wearing masks or are they not wearing
We're
masks?
not, right.
And then you see people and the grocery store and like it costs like $1,000 to buy stuff at the grocery store now.
Yes.
Every time you go there, or like $120 where it used to be $80
Exactly.
or something like that.
Yeah.
It's quite the place. But if you have your Instacarter, then you can kind of
they go through all of it for you, bring it right to your door. It's beautiful.
Okay. You know what? That's not the worst idea in the world.
Right? Oh, I love it.
Can you tell them only buy things that are on sale?
You can.
Okay.
I do things because I like.
This is not an ad for Instagram.
I know it. I know.
I'm just actually fascinated that like there's someone going around
and
actually shop. It's not like online, like you're like, oh, Amazon and it's the warehouse. No, it's literally a dude who's going in
shopping for me and drops it right off at the door.
I like that.
Okay. He knows my dogs, my kids. I have to put his picture up in case I disappear.
So there it is. And obviously that was like super popular during COVID because everybody was doing that. I mean, my parents were, and the guy would come and drop everything off, right. and so that was the thing. But I just still find it kind of fascinating.
My kids all lazy. Like, why don't you just go to the store?
I love it. So my gosh, I am so happy you're back here in the Berkshires. I know it's been, you've been back for a while, but
yes.
But I love your energy and
Thank you.
I can't wait to see what you and I'm gonna go to a show. I'm now really excited personally about going to some comedian comics shows, right. and that's I didn't realize there was so much going on.
We're up and coming. We're taking over.
So we'll date this a little bit, but Friday the date is in West Stockbridge.
Yes, West Stockbridge. I'm going to be at the Foundry in West Stockbridge on Friday, and then Sunday, a little further off, not Berkshires related, but Albany, Hartford Funny.
That's not far.
Albany Funnyville. Yes.
To be honest with you, it's not. If you're in Pittsfield or maybe North County, it's actually probably a quicker trip to Albany than it is
to get to West Stockbridge.
So that may be the place. I mean, so yeah, if you live in Williamstown, you just go over that that mountain there.
To get over to Albany.
Mm-hmm. And so you're right there. It's probably even a quicker shot than the West Stockbridge. But for Pittsfield and South County, that's a nice.
Yes, then hit the West Stockbridge. I'm looking forward to both West Stockbridge especially because it is the Berkshires. So I love telling jokes in the Berkshires.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. Eryca Nolan, a great pleasure. God bless and keep up the good work.
Thank you. And thanks for having me.